All right. Good morning, everyone. And welcome to the stream. Welcome to the beginning of a full week of amazing, outstanding gameplay. Ooh. Ooh. Yikes. That's disturbing. I was thinking, let me turn off the white balance adjustment and see if it makes me look better. It makes me look worse. It makes me look like I'm in a volcano about to explode. Holy shit. Welcome, everyone, to a new streaming week. Welcome to the PreStream podcast. I am some asshole. Welcome. It is March 8th, 2022, a Tuesday. I am coming back from my day off break yesterday, and I hope that you all had a great time, whatever you did on Monday. Whether you went out and actually left your house and got some sunlight for the first time in weeks, like me. Whether you caught up on all my recent playthroughs here on DSPGaming on demand. And if you did, I hope you enjoyed them. If not, well, I don't need to know about that. Anyway, whatever it is that you did, I hope you were safe. And I hope you had a good time. But now I hope you're ready to get back into the groove. 12 straight gameplay streams coming for you guys. Yes, did you hear what I just said? Gameplay streams. This week, I'm making a few executive decisions, and I think that you guys will like them, although I need to talk with you guys about some stuff to make some determinations for this week. Okay? So, first of all, Ask the King, my Q&A show. Does it make sense to do it right now? No, it just doesn't. It really doesn't. It makes no sense to be doing a Q&A show when I'm already backed up on all the new releases and people are fiending for more. Right now, you literally have no one asking for Ask the King, but everyone's asking for more of their favorite games. In particular, more Elden Ring right now seems to be the #1 request, among other things. So I don't think we're doing Ask the King this week. I think we're going to bump it again. What I'm going to have to do is behind the scenes change all the data again, because it doesn't say that. It still says it's going to be this week. We're just going to keep bumping until it makes sense. It doesn't make sense right now at all to do the show, okay? So that's change #1. Change #2 is I want to talk about how I'm covering Elden Ring. I want to talk about maybe some changes to that. I want to talk about the other new release this week that people are talking about and that I had massive confusion about, WWE 2K22. I finally figured out why I had massive confusion about it, and I don't think it's my fault. I don't. Now I understand why I was so confused. All right? So we're going to talk about that. All right? Also, Phil's day off. Going to do a little segment about my day off yesterday and what I did and, you know, how it went. Will it be super exciting? Yes. I only killed 14 zombies yesterday. It was a new record. New record low. Usually I kill like 20, 30. Only had to kill 14. But we'll talk about that. A little bit of gaming news today, but not that much. Just a little bit to touch upon. It was shocking that I had a day off and there was not an insane amount of news on my day off. Usually whenever I take a day off, and it doesn't matter what day of the week it is, whatever day of the week I take off is the day when there's a million things going on in the gaming world. Not this week. Not so much this week, which is a good thing. But there's 2 small stories to talk about. So we got a good amount of stuff to talk about on the pre-stream, but I also don't want this to go super lengthy. I want to finish it at least on time so we can get into Elden Ring today, which is the main gameplay stream for today, just so you guys know. All right. So Elden Ring today, excellent. And then tonight, Pokemon Legends Arceus, end game. And what I mean by that is it's very possible this is the end of the game for us. We're basically in the finale of the story, and if we wrap up the story, then that's it. Now, if we wrap up the story and there's post-game content that seems easy to do and it's not super time-consuming, maybe I'll do some. But admittedly, I feel that like this playthrough kind of has reached its logical ending point. No, I'm not going to be grinding to get every single Pokemon in the game because apparently it's insanely time-consuming and just tedious as shit. And I got other stuff I need to do that I want to do way more than sit here trying to grind just to collect some Pokemon. So we'll see what happens tonight on the late stream. Tomorrow will be more Elden Ring, okay? And tomorrow night will be Horizon Forbidden West, okay? Now, I think what we'll do on Thursday to mix things up is that on Thursday, we'll have Skyrim be the main gameplay stream, okay? Which is good. I actually did it as a main gameplay stream over the weekend. It actually did quite well. Viewership was pretty good. Attendance was good. Engagement was good. Support was pretty decent as well. Like, I really don't have a complaint about it. It seemed to work bringing it back as a main gameplay stream, okay? Now, here is where we need to talk, all right, about the schedule, about what games I'm covering and the like. Let's get right into it. Let's get right into the nitty-gritty of it right here on the PreStream podcast. Let's get to the meat, the delicious meat of what we're going to be talking about today. Sound good? I hope so. All right. So here's the deal. Currently, I am entering into, well, I'm already in my second week of Elden Ring coverage, right? Elden Ring, excuse me, not Elden Ring, Rick, whatever Elden Rick. Who's Elden Rick? Currently, I'm about 24 hours into Elden Ring. For any other game, you would say, wow, 24 hours in. Dude, you're probably about maybe halfway through. You probably got a good grasp on this game and what to expect, and smooth sailing ahead. I'm in the first area. I'm still in the first area. I'm still in Limgrave. This game has so much content. I haven't left the first area. I had the ability to leave the first area a very long time ago. I already teleported to Caelid, or I beat the castle like 3-4 streams ago. I could have moved on, but the thing is, in this game, if you don't explore, you miss out on critical items that you need for the rest of the playthrough. In fact, I'm not kidding. I'm 24 hours in, and people are like, dude, you still didn't get this critical item in the area you're in. Don't leave yet. You got to go back and keep looking. I'm like, jeez. This game is ridiculous. Redonkulous. Insane amount of content, right? I'm okay with that, too. Like, I'm enjoying myself. But the thing that I'm noticing is here we are, okay? Almost 2 weeks into my coverage. The game came out 2 weeks ago on Friday. So, you know what I'm saying? We're about a week and a half in. I'm 24 hours in. That's pretty good for playing a week and a half, being 24 hours into a game. But here's the deal. Most people are way ahead of me. And the reason that I know this is because when you read the trends and the feed on social media about people talking about what games are hot and everything, now there are memes emerging, all right, from entire areas of the game, bosses in the game that I'm not at yet. And it kind of annoys me because I'm left out. Like, I like it that there's people enjoying Elden Ring along with me and talking about it on social media and having a good time. But then I like, okay, well, the big joke, there's a joke about this boss coming up, Radahn. I don't know anything about Radahn. I really don't. I haven't spoiled myself. People were actually talking about Radahn in the stream chat last stream. And I started making jokes about how studly Radahn must be, that everyone's talking about him. He must be like the most attractive, manly, you know, he exudes machismo or whatever, because people just love this guy and talk about him constantly, even though I literally know nothing about this boss, okay? So, there's memes emerging. And they're emerging at a pace that, like, I feel like I'm way behind. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing. I do absolutely, positively do not want to be playing Elden Ring nonstop. I want you to understand this. I played it for 3 days nonstop. That was 6 straight streams. It was great. But you get burnout. And you start to wish that you were doing other stuff. You missed the other playthroughs you were doing. Admittedly, when I got back to playthroughs like Horizon Forbidden West and stuff, I was like, what was I doing last? Felt like I haven't played it for like a week. And I don't want that to happen, you see? At the very same time, I do feel like I'm not moving fast enough in Elden Ring. I feel like having days where there's no Elden Ring, I feel like I'm behind. Like I missed out, and now people are pushing ahead in other, you know, further than me and everything. I knew this was going to happen when all these games came out at once. I absolutely knew it. I told you guys for months, I said February is going to be ridiculous because I don't know what these game publishers are thinking. They're a bunch of fucking idiots. You can't all release your games within 2-3 weeks and expect that you're not going to create cannibalism. And that's literally what has happened. In fact, one of the news stories I'm going to talk about today is that game developers, not Elden Ring game developers, but all the game developers who've made other games recently are actually complaining about Elden Ring's success and actually trying to like bring down the game and make fun of it, and then they're getting completely publicly roasted for doing so. Okay? So, this is very challenging. It is. It's very challenging. I am a variety streamer. I need to be playing a variety of games because right now I can tell you I have hundreds of people who attend my streams who don't care about Elden Ring. They want chill streams. They want the other ongoing playthroughs. They just don't care about this playthrough. I can't just be an Elden Ring streamer for a month. I need variety in my content. At the same time, I do feel like I'm behind, and I'm being left behind, and I need to, you know, basically continue with continuous coverage of Elden Ring. And let's be honest here. If you're watching DSPGaming right now, you'll notice something. All right? Overall, views are up. Overall, engagement on the channel is up. Subscriptions, way up. Things are way increased since I started playing Elden Ring, and people want more. People are fiending for more Elden Ring. Now, I'm not saying pump 40 hours of Elden Ring in 1 week. I'm saying people want more of this game, so I should continuously be playing it. All right? So, here's the deal. Here's what I'm thinking. I would like to run all this by you. Okay? Let's see what you guys think. All right? Let's see. I'm curious. I want to hear some feedback. That's why I love doing these interactive streams. By the way, thank you guys for all these contributions popping in. I really appreciate it. Obviously, you know, I'll give you a shout out at the end of the PreStream podcast today for this. So here we go. Here's my take. And then what I want to do is I want to talk about WWE 2K22 and why I was so confused about the game. We'll talk about that, okay? Here's my take. I'm of the impression that people would not be disappointed if I played Elden Ring every single day, but not always the same stream. Some days it would be the main stream, and then a day when I don't want to do Elden Ring as the main stream, I want to break things up, the daytime stream will be something different, and then the night stream will be Elden Ring. You see? That way, at least we're making progress every single day, but it's not like every day the mainstream is Elden Ring, and if you're bored of it, you don't have to see it every day. You see what I'm saying? There's always another stream, another game to watch that same day. Okay? That's what I'm thinking. Okay? That's what I'm thinking. I don't want to have it that I'm being left behind. Because it feels like I am being left behind. Because think about it this way. Here's originally what my schedule was going to be for this week. Elden Ring today, Elden Ring tomorrow, Skyrim on Thursday, WWE on Friday, and then the weekend was completely uncertain. I didn't know if the weekend was going to be WWE or Elden Ring as a daytime stream or not. Also, I still got to keep playing Horizon. I'm still playing that, so that was going to be night streams paired with Pokemon until Pokemon finished. Oh, by the way, Friday night Street Fighter, but now what about Horizon? When does that come back? When do I play it? You see what I'm saying? It's basically becoming too much. It is. There's too much going on. There is. There's just too fucking much going on right now. And we knew this would happen. And we all said it. But it seemed like there was really no way to prepare for it or understand until I started playing the games and seeing how well they would be received. I'll be honest with you. I never thought Horizon would actually flop on my streams as it has. Now, I'm not saying it's completely dead. I'm just saying it was a hot new release. I thought it would get some attention. And it fizzled out within less than a week. It was my lowest attended stream, and people were like, play anything else. I was like, wow, I did not expect that. I really didn't. I thought it was going to be much more popular than it was. Elden Ring, I understood it was going to be long. I didn't think I would be 24 hours and still in the first area. Just being honest. I thought I would be well into the game by now. It's like, wow, this is ridiculous, the way that they've designed this game. Okay? So, here's what I'm thinking. For example, let's give you some examples. Today, it's Elden Ring with the conclusion of Pokemon. And yes, this essentially means, no, I'm not going to be doing insane post-game extra content and shit, dragging out these playthroughs. Pokemon needs to finish tonight. Okay? So it'll be 2 hours of Pokemon. We'll wrap up Pokemon tonight. It's done. Tomorrow, will be Elden Ring on the day stream. And then tomorrow night, it'll be Horizon Forbidden West. Okay? There you go. Thursday, it'll be up in the air. If I want to do a third straight day of Elden Ring, I can. Or if I want some variety, then I'll do Skyrim as the main stream. And then Thursday night, we have options. It could either be Elden Ring if I did Skyrim as the main stream, or if I did Elden Ring as the main stream, then the night stream could be anything. It could be Horizon, you know what I mean? I'm giving myself options by doing it this way. But the rule of thumb would be I should be playing Elden Ring every single day, unless there's an exception. Like, let's say I play it for 3 straight days, and man, I am feeling so burnt out. I need a break from Elden Ring for a day. Then I can give myself that break. You see? But I do feel like instead of it always being, oh, gotta alternate and this and that it should be trying to get Elden Ring in every day a little bit. Even if it means a night stream for a couple of hours, I still think that's better than nothing. Okay? There you go. Now, no, It can't be Elden Ring every day stream. That's ridiculous. Then you have an audience that's completely isolated. What if you're someone who likes my content, but you just don't like Elden Ring, you're not really caring, but you want to watch Horizon, you want to watch Skyrim, you want to watch Street Fighter, you want to watch other games coming up. That's not fair to you that Elden Ring's the daytime stream every day. I don't want to do that. That's why I want to alternate every once in a while, just for variety purposes. And to be honest, no, I don't think I want to play 3+ hours of Elden Ring every day either. I want to vary. I want to mix it up a little bit, okay? So that's what I'm thinking. Now, let's talk about the confusion around WWE 2K22 because, man, it was confusing. I was confused as shit. Let's talk about it. Here we go. So, WWE 2K22 originally was supposed to come out in the fall. It was monstrously delayed until this week, okay? So that's a big delay from October to March. 5 extra months of development for this game. Wouldn't be surprised if it's because half the wrestlers in the game were already released from the company and they didn't know what to do with the roster and shit. It was a real mess for wrestling, especially in the WWE this last year. So when I was doing my schedule for new releases, it says WWE 2K22 comes out on Friday, the 11th of March. Okay, great. It's on my schedule. That's when we'll check it out. All right. So I just keep saying this. I just keep saying, hey, you know, 11th of March. We'll check it out, 11th of March. And then all of a sudden, over the last weekend, and even yesterday on my day off, I see everyone saying it comes out today. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It said on the schedule the 11th, and I swear, on my PlayStation, it said the 11th. Okay? I swear. Well, guess what, guys? I'm going to investigate this right now. What I can do is turn on my webcam so it's not blaringly ugly there. Here's your answer. We're going to do it live. Ready? Here's WWE 2K22. You click on it. Okay. Wait a minute. It says pre-order. Release on the 10th. Huh? The 10th? Why on the 10th? I thought it was the 11th this thing comes out. Right? So then you click on here. What about the deluxe edition? Oh, that comes out on the 7th. Huh? Okay. What about the NWO edition? Oh, that's the 7th as well. But look at these prices, the exorbitant prices on here of these versions of the game. And you go, what's cross-gen? That's also the 10th, but it's $10 extra. What? So, if you're just as confused as I am, it's not your fault. Okay? It really isn't. So here's the truth. The game is supposed to come out on the 11th. Alright? Which is Friday. That was the original release date. Okay? At some point, I don't even know when this happened. Alright? They changed their minds. And they decided what they were going to do is... I'm coming back now. They were going to make it a date early. So now it comes out on the 10th. But then they changed it again. And they said, well, if you buy the extra expensive versions of the game, like, you know, $80 to $100, $120, Jesus fuck, $120 for a wrestling game, then you can play it days early, okay? Now, I definitely can understand some reasons why you'd want to play a game early. For me as a content creator, okay? If I'm busy and I got a lot of games that I'm currently juggling, and maybe I want to get the drop on a game before its official release and pay a little bit extra. I actually did this last year, excuse me, with Lost Judgment. I actually paid a little extra, and I ended up playing it like almost a week early from when the full worldwide release date was, and it got me a little bit extra into the game before I got inundated with a ton of other games, and then I didn't finish it till like January. Seriously, I didn't. So, I'm looking at all this, I'm like, this is incredibly confusing. So some people will be playing it today, some people are playing it on the 10th. Apparently you can't get it in stores till the 11th. So if you want the physical copy, you can't get it till Friday. So everyone all around the world is playing it on a different day, okay? And it just confuses the shit out of me. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm disappointed with the price of this game. $70 on PlayStation 5. Why? Why? $80 cross-gen. $10 extra just to get it on PS4 and PS5? Why? And let's not even get into the exorbitant prices of those higher end versions of the game. This game just seems kind of expensive for what it is. What is it? Well, it's got a showcase mode, which WWE games have almost always had a showcase mode. There's a couple years it didn't. But most of the time it has this story mode. You play through a certain wrestlers, certain plot lines, and usually it's a good way to not only learn the controls, but get a little bit of narrative out of the game. Then apparently it's a sim. It's got a GM mode where you can basically pretend like you're the general manager of a show, run the matches and everything, or you could play as a particular wrestler, kind of playing through your own career, like a career mode, okay? So you got that. Then you've got the other whole back end of it, which is the whole creation suite, meaning you can make your own content, make your own wrestlers, make your own rings. What happens is traditionally, when these games come out, usually initially there's nothing to do with that. You have to make your own. But if you wait a couple of months, like I'll give you an example. Usually these games will come out in October. For some reason this one was delayed 5 months, but typically WWE games come out in October. By December, like Christmas time, there would be so much created content that I could do huge, large-scale simulated matches. 30-man over-the-top battle royals that are simulated with fantasy characters who aren't real wrestlers. Yeah, politicians, celebrities, cartoon characters, comic book characters, you know, movie horror villains, you know what I'm saying? Pop culture icons, all duking it out in the ring. That's funny as shit, and it's very entertaining to watch those battle royals. I would usually do a King of Christmas tournament where icons of Christmas like Scrooge McDuck, the Grinch, Frosty the Snowman, Santa Claus, and even Jesus Christ himself would duke it out to win the coveted King of Christmas title belt in a series of qualifying matches leading to a giant finale. Usually I would do this right before or as part of Christmas. But the game got delayed 5 months. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it kind of is deflated it a bit. Like, this is one of the major reasons I would buy it, is yes, I would play through the story mode at launch, and then I would do my Sims for Christmas. Well, it's already March. They kind of fucked that up. You know what I'm saying? Now, over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about it, and it seems like there's two schools of thought when it comes to this game. One group of people are wrestling fans. Much like I was for a lot of my life. Today, would I consider myself a wrestling fan? Yes and no. I'm kind of more like a backseat fan. And what I mean by that is I don't watch wrestling. I haven't watched wrestling in a very long time. Last time I watched a single full match of wrestling was WrestleMania 2020. I got rid of the WWE Network, which doesn't exist anymore. Now it's part of Peacock. But I got rid of that a long time ago. I don't watch wrestling at all. I haven't watched a single match of AEW since they were created. Never seen one. All I do is I follow the trends on, excuse me, I follow the trends on social media. So I know what's going on with wrestling. I can tell you who, well, I guess I could kind of tell you who the champions are. Maybe. See, I don't really follow it that much. But, like, for example, there was an AEW pay-per-view over the weekend, and I'm aware of what happened during the pay-per-view, some of the momentous matches and things that happened, because I follow the trends, I see the news. But I didn't see any of the matches. You know, I didn't. I'm just not into wrestling like I used to be. However, I'm aware that there is a chunk of my viewer base who is. Many of you were wrestling fans. Many of you still watch pro wrestling. You used to watch my wrestling coverage back in the day, and you've continued to follow the product over the years. You guys keep me in the know a lot of the times about wrestling and stuff that's going on, right? Wolf's Paradox says, what caused me to quit wrestling? I've already answered this many times. I'll answer it again for the PreStream podcast. I mean, this is the show where I should be elaborating on this stuff, right? There's really two reasons that I quit wrestling. Number one, I'm just not athletic anymore. No, I'm joking. I was never a wrestler. The reasons why I stopped actively watching wrestling. Number one, there's too much of it. When I was growing up, there was Raw and SmackDown. That's all you had to watch. If you liked the competition, you would watch Nitro, and what was the other one? There was two other shows, Thunder. So you watch a few hours of wrestling a week, you're in the know. Today, just to give you some perspective, if you just want to be a fan of WWE, there's Raw, there's SmackDown, there's Main Event, there's NXT, there's behind-the-scenes tournaments and events that happen that you need to be constantly watching. Oh, well, you can't just watch that. You also have to watch the competition, AEW. They have 2 shows a week. Well, wait a minute. What about New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is a very valid third alternative? Wait a minute. But it got to the point when I had WWE Network, it was like when my wife was at work, I would watch some television, and literally every moment would have to be wrestling. Because if it wasn't, I was completely out of the loop about everything that was going on in wrestling. It was ridiculous. And I was like, how much time am I going to invest in this shit? Seriously. It's so much to be in the know and watch it all. And it's like, well, why don't you just pick and choose? Literally, you won't understand what's going on half the time if you pick and choose. You know? It was actually about that time, about 2.5 years ago, when I was feeling very overwhelmed by the amount of wrestling that was out there, that I said, let me just watch, or let me just follow the trends on social media. So I did. I started following it on Twitter and everything. And then I started to realize something. I can still be in the know about wrestling. I can still get everyone's opinions on wrestling. And I don't have to watch wrestling. You don't have to pay $1. You don't have to watch it. You can just follow it on social media. And it's actually more enjoyable that way. Because I don't feel like I'm investing an insane amount of time, which brings me to my second half of the reason why I stopped watching pro wrestling. Because it takes an incredible amount of investment, but 9 out of 10 times, there's no payoff. And I'll give you some examples here. Many times over the years, you're watching WWE programming, and WWE is pushing someone as a big hero, a big character on TV, someone to get behind, someone to really enjoy their work, both in the ring and on the microphone and in plot lines. I really like this person. So you invest your time in it. You watch all the matches. You really, you follow them on social media. You're into it. Within 2 years, fucking WWE ruins everything. The character sucks. No longer are they in the main event picture. In fact, they're way, way down here, brushed under the rug. If they even get any television time, they botch it. They completely botch this person who you had investment in. You were really confident that they were going to be good. WWE told you as much. And then within a couple of years, they fizzle out and they're gone. Half the time, they get released from the company. And it would have been with things, it would have been something if this happened once. This would happen once and again and again and again and again. The bottom line is WWE writers have no fucking idea how to write, but they just get away with it because Vince McMahon is this megalomaniac. He controls his company with an iron fist and thinks everything he does is fine because he finds ways to make money even though he disappoints his customer base constantly, right? Oh, well, everyone's disappointed that WWE TV sucks. Let me sign a ginormous deal to do shows in Saudi Arabia and make blood money. Seriously. Oh, well, everyone hates the fact that half of the company is quitting and or being released. That's okay. I'll just sell my streaming rights to Peacock and make $1 billion. And then I'll say that I may have the most profitable year ever despite the fact that I laid off like 50 people. That's Vince McMahon. Basically, the older he gets, the more fucked up in the head he is, and he just ruins his company. And I got to the point where I was like, I can't invest my time in this anymore. The more I invest, I'm just setting myself up for more and more disappointment. You see what I'm saying? The more that I watched WWE, I would realize at some point along the line, they're going to fuck this up, and I'm going to feel like I wasted all my time. Imagine if you were watching a television show, okay, for 2-3 seasons, all right, years, and all of a sudden, at the end of the show, they just botch everything. The ending's terrible. Your main characters who you like just get killed off immediately with no actual resolution or meaning to it. Just zoop, they're gone. You know, like The Walking Dead, which I can't fucking believe is still running. And even though it's ending, now they're going to have 10 more spin-off shows. I can't imagine anyone in their right mind still watching that shit. It's terrible. And that's essentially what WWE has become. This terrible, just keep egging you on, keep pulling you in, keep watching, keep giving us money. But there's never any payout for any of it. Shit. How many times did they build someone up like Kofi Kingston or Big E, make them the champion, and then immediately bury their fucking ass? So why did I invest in that character? You wasted my fucking time just so you could give Brock Lesnar another $40 million. So, that's what I mean. Like, I had enough of it. I literally had enough of it. I got stressed out watching it. It was too much of an investment. I was like, there's no point to this. It's just pissing me off at this point. It's not entertainment. It's actual annoyance. So I stopped watching WWE, and I stopped watching all wrestling about 2 years ago now, okay? So, that being said, there is still a group of people who want to see me play WWE 2K22. They're interested in seeing me get back into wrestling in this way. I thought the game came out Friday. Apparently, the game comes out today or Thursday. It's so fucking confusing. All right? Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Right now, I couldn't buy this game if I wanted to. Right now, I got 2 giant bills due this week. And they're due in the next couple of days. All my money has to go to that. Anything I raise today literally goes to pay these bills. In the next day or two, I have to make enough money to pay these bills before I have $1 to my name that I could spend on anything else. So, I couldn't even buy WWE 2K22 right now. Even if I wanted to, that money is already accounted for going to other bills. So, I couldn't play it today even if I knew it was coming out today. And you know what I'm saying? It can't happen. It sucks, but that's just reality right now. Okay? But what about later this week? All right, well, originally, that was the plan, is that I was thinking, I guess we're going to play it on Friday. Now, it ain't out on Friday. Apparently, it's out on Thursday. Okay? So what about that? Number one, again, I don't know if I'm going to have money to buy it by Thursday. To being honest, like, I have 2 bills that have to clear. One definitely clears tomorrow, and the other either clears tomorrow or Thursday, and I have to see how much money I make today and tomorrow to even cover these bills. So, I can't even promise you that I would be able to buy it by, like, Friday. I have to see how the week goes when it comes to what I can raise on stream. Okay? But I'm also considering everything else in the light of what's going on. Like, right now, Elden Ring is the hottest thing in gaming. Elden Ring is what everyone wants to see, and I'm fucking behind on it. And I'm kind of looking at the situation, I'm like, is this really the time that I should be playing a new game like this? Especially because this isn't not some ultra-hyped AAA big new release that everyone's asking me to play. This is literally a game for kind of a group of my viewers who maybe would enjoy wrestling. But is there a reason to absolutely rush and play it this week? And the more I think about it, the answer that I keep coming up with is, no, I don't think so. I actually think that maybe this is a situation where I should wait, because it doesn't matter if I play WWE this week, next week, or in a month. It doesn't matter. It's still going to entertain those people who want to see wrestling content, you know? It's not like this is something that is shocking that people want to see right away, and people will be like, oh my god, if Phil plays WWE in like a month, I'm never going to watch him play it. In fact, it's quite the opposite, and here's why. The created content. In WWE, there won't be a large amount of good created content for a while. It's going to take probably a month or two for there to be enough uploaded created content for this game to actually do, for example, Fantasy Sims. If I wanted to do that 30-man over-the-top rope Fantasy Battle Royal, right? I can't even do that day one. I'd have to wait because there's not going to be enough content uploaded. So, what I'm actually thinking of doing is waiting. And maybe the game will go down in price a bit too by the time that I choose to get it. I don't know. And I know this is going to disappoint some people. Immediately, you're going to see some people in the chat who are going to be like, oh, man, that's sad because I really wanted to see you play it. I love wrestling, and I wish that you would be playing it now. I hear you. But the way I see it is like, here's the way I see it. Imagine you're sitting at a table, dinner table, okay? And here come a bunch of dishes. You got this amazingly huge heaping dish of meat in front of you. Steaming, smelling great. You're eating it. Oh, man. But then another plate comes out over here of delicious roasted chicken. Oh, it's amazing. Oh, it's so good. Then over here, you get the best sides ever made, right? You got mac and cheese. You got fucking mashed potatoes with all the fixins. It all keeps coming out. And it's like, dude, I'm enjoying, but oh my God, I can only eat at a certain rate before I explode. I can't keep doing this. But now more plates keep coming out. And it's like, well, what's going to happen here? I can't keep doing this, you know? At some point, I have to say, okay, no, stop bringing the food. Let me finish what I'm eating here first. Because what's the point if you keep bringing food, and now we have 14 dishes on the table, and I'm only grabbing a dish every 20 minutes? You know what I'm saying? And the food's getting cold now. I can't eat all the food when it's warm and steaming and delicious because there's too much of it on the table. That's literally how I feel right now, right? I feel like there's so much going on in gaming, and I'm just like, I'm getting underwater here with the amount of stuff that's out. We need to finish Pokemon tonight. That'll be a good one. To finish that off, and then we got a game done, and now we can focus more on the other stuff. But right now, the massive demand is for Elden Ring, and I'm getting behind on it. I want to keep going with Horizon. Is there massive demand for it? No, but I'm invested in it. I'm like 20 hours plus in. In fact, let's take a look at that. I am actually 22 hours in Horizon Forbidden West, And we're actually, from what I'm to understand, we're heading into maybe the final third of the game plot-wise. Since I'm not doing the side content because it does seem completely superfluous to the game, and honestly, I hate to say, not very well implemented. I feel like it's one of the biggest shortcomings of that game is the side content's just a time waster. Maybe if I just focus on Horizon for the next 2 weeks as a night stream, maybe I can beat it and get that out of the rotation. Now it's done. That's another game done, and we can focus in on other stuff. You see what I'm saying? I really feel like what I need to do is hyper-focus on what I'm playing, but play more of what you want. Right now, you want more Elden Ring. I want to play more Elden Ring. I need to get further in it, so that's got to be my major focus. I don't think taking on WWE right now makes any sense. I think it'll be more like, God, now when do we play what? And there's too much going on, and I'm not finishing anything. Again, the analogy, I'm sitting at the table. Why have I have 4 or 5 giant heaping piles of delicious food in front of me? Am I taking on more dishes? I'll never eat them all. You see? So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Now, here's the thing. I know some people are going to be disappointed. All right, on my social media feeds, people are like, oh, I can't wait. On Friday, you're going to be playing WWE. I know there's people in here who are huge fans of WWE, and they're hearing me say this, and they're probably very upset with me. And that actually makes me feel sad. It does, because I wish that I could please everyone. I do, and I feel bad when I can't live up to that expectation to make everyone happy. I'm sad because right now I know for a fact people probably just heard that, and they're like, oh, man, that really sucks. I was so looking forward to Phil playing WWE. And I hate that feeling. I hate that feeling that I'm letting people down. But I actually don't know what to do about it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like let me put it this way. I want to play WWE. I'm not telling you guys I'm not playing it. I'm just saying I can't play it right now. I don't see how I could. There's too much else going on. And this Elden Ring, holy shit, this is a unique entity among games. A Dark Souls game that essentially is like endless content and is insanely time consuming, but you need to stay with it. If you fall behind, like, now everyone's ahead, because that's what it is. Everyone's ahead of me. All these memes on social media and everything are about shit I don't even understand, and I'm like, fuck, if I don't pick it up, I'm not going to even understand half the shit anymore, and I'm going to get spoiled. I'm really worried about being spoiled. I am. I'm really worried that everyone's going to start spoiling the game, and I'm like, oh, fuck. What are you going to do? I'm a week behind everybody, So, I think that's what we're doing. So, in light of this, allow me now to lay down what I think would be a good schedule for this week. All right? In light of this and the fact that I'm probably not playing WWE this week. Here we go. Today, Elden Ring and the conclusion of Pokemon Legends Arceus on the late stream. Tomorrow, Elden Ring and Horizon Forbidden West on the late stream. Thursday, Skyrim as the main stream for variety's sake, and Elden Ring as the late stream for 2 hours. Friday, Elden Ring is the main stream and Street Fighter. Saturday, either Skyrim or Elden Ring, you see, and then some Horizon. So because I'm doing this, I'm still playing Elden Ring every day, but I'm every once in a while moving it back and forth. And that's now going to create variety for those who want to see other stuff. Maybe every once in a while you'll want a Skyrim stream. For variety's sake, you'll get it. That's what I'm thinking, okay? So, I hope that sounds good to you. If not, please give me your feedback. I need feedback desperately right now. I'm in a situation where I actually don't know what the right choice is here, simply because I don't think there is an honest, correct or incorrect answer, because Elden Ring has completely challenged everyone. You know what I'm saying? I don't think anyone expected it to be like this. So, I'm definitely open to your suggestions. I am. Because the way I see it, if I start playing WWE, it's just going to be too much all at once. Now, you might say, okay, Phil, if you're not playing WWE this week, okay, when will you play it? I don't know, but I could definitely tell you it would be a consideration for the next game that I would play when I have time. Outside of WWE, next week is Strangers of Paradise Final Fantasy. I'm not even thinking I'm going to play it. From what I've seen and everything, I'm not really sold on it. Unless we get giant information about this game in the next week that it's like the best game ever and it's a must-play. You skip it, you're really missing out. I don't think I'm going to play it. I think I'm going to skip it, okay? Which means really, the biggest games this month are at the very tail end. The last week, we've got the new Kirby game, and we've got Ghostwire Tokyo. Those I'm both interested in a lot, okay? And those I would say I very highly want to play. But that would mean if I'm not playing Strangers of Paradise, I have from now till the 25th to focus in on Elden Ring and or the other stuff I'm balancing with it. You see what I'm saying? That would actually be a good amount of time, and maybe by then I'm almost done with it, and it doesn't feel like a big deal that we're now doing variety because there's new games, you see? So that's kind of what I'm thinking, and man, do I need feedback, because I don't think that there's a right or wrong answer here. I don't. GTA 5 Remastered, you've got to be out of your mind if you think I'm playing that right now. Really. You've got to be nuts. First of all, I just played 3 GTA games in the Grand Theft Auto collection. That's number one. Number two, these games actually still cost money. They're saying there's no free upgrade path for GTA 5. If you want to get it on current gen, you got to pay money even if you own it on last gen. So you know what I say to that? I ain't playing it now. I'll fucking wait. And really, there's no reason to play it now anyway. What I'm thinking is what we should do is wait until maybe GTA 6 gets formally released and there's a release date for it, and then play that game as the lead-in, the build-up and lead-in to the next GTA as a way to refresh ourselves on modern GTA, you see? That's what I'm thinking. So, okay. All right. So I hope that makes sense. And, you know, I hope I haven't disappointed many of you too much. Some of you are probably rejoicing. Seriously, I know some people right now are probably like, good, because we wanted to see Phil play more Elden Ring, and telling me that Elden Ring, there's going to be new Elden Ring every day is the right way to go. That's going to keep eyes on DSPGaming, and people will be excited to tune into the channel every day. And it's not going to be torn apart between too much stuff going on at once, interjecting wrestling and other things into here when he needs to keep continuing on with the stuff that he wants. On the same time, I know there's going to be people that are going to be like, God damn it, I really wanted to see Phil play this, and now it sucks that he's not playing it right now. But I hope that you would at least understand. Here's the other thing. Really, it's going to make more sense to play a game like WWE 2K22 in like a month or two when all the created content has been uploaded. Now I could do Fantasy Sims because there's enough content for it. Right now, there will not be. Okay? Okay. There you go. That's at least for now. But we'll see what happens. Okay. All right. So I hope that covers everything with the schedule and everything. I hope that makes sense, guys. All I want to say is, before we get to news, because there is some gaming news to cover today, thank you for all the engagement recently. Thank you for the support recently. Everything's been good. I really don't have any complaints. Like I said, the last month was insane, and right now, viewership is overall up, engagement is up, subs are up, everything's up, and nothing is seemingly dipping. Like, it seems like there's a wave that's continuing now with the stuff that I'm doing, and it's good. So if I can keep this momentum going, maybe all year we can keep this going. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. But right now, welcome. If you're someone who's just started watching recently, maybe someone who just returned to the channel recently for Elden Ring or other stuff or both, thanks and welcome, and I hope you're enjoying everything, okay? I did hear that, Red Gamer. There is an expansion for Lost Judgment coming out at the end of this month. This is supposed to be Kaido's story-based DLC that they were talking about ever since the launch of the game. I don't remember if I have this or not, because if you remember, I paid extra to play the game early, but I don't remember if that paying extra included getting that Kaido DLC or not. So, am I interested in it? Yes. Is there any chance right now that I'm going to make a promise about playing it at launch? Hell no. Not with what we're dealing with right now. Okay? Okay. Alright. Alright. First of all, let's do a little segment that we do once a week. It's everyone's favorite segment. I swear, all of you tell me every week how much you enjoy it, that you want it every week like clockwork. If I don't do it, you'd be very disappointed. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a segment on the PreStream podcast that I like to call Phil's Day Off. That's right. Dramatic pause. So, yesterday was my day off from streaming. What happened? Well, First of all, I went grocery shopping. Very exciting. Very exciting. In reality, this is probably the first time that I went grocery shopping in about 2 months. Ever since that snowstorm we had at Christmas. Yes. Over 2 months. Every time I've gone grocery shopping, this store has been out of shit. Oh, well, the supply chain was disrupted and we can't catch it. They still have signs in the store saying things like, oh, we're still backed up on this product or whatever. But finally, this was the first week they had everything that I needed except my chicken meatballs. I was very disappointed. Chicken meatballs are absolutely delicious. We eat them with pasta every week because I'm Italian. I have to have pasta once a week. If I don't eat pasta once a week, I actually turn into a gremlin. So when we have our pasta, we've been eating chicken meatballs. And sadly, they didn't have them. I was incredibly upset. Incredibly upset. They do have Italian-style chicken sausage, but it's just not the same. It doesn't taste the same. But we got a substitute. But anyway, it was good. They had everything I needed, but the prices are still exorbitant. Like, again, I used to be able to shop for a certain amount, and now when I go shopping every week, literally it's increased by about, I'd argue, about 60% increase in cost. And that's not me exaggerating. That's the prices going up. And it's hilarious because I see things on TV like, oh, inflation is like, it went up 7%. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm buying the same product I was buying 2 years ago, and it used to be $10, and now it's $13.50. That's not 7% inflation. And that's across the board. Like, everything I'm buying is more expensive. So how do you say 7% when in reality, everything you're buying is like 30, 40% more expensive? I don't understand how they figure 7%. It sounds like horseshit to me. It sounds like people are trying to finagle some magic number to make you feel like it's not as bad as it is. Because all I know is I'm paying a fuck ton more when I go grocery shopping now than when I was just a year or two ago. Okay. So, then during the day, it was actually a nice day yesterday. It was sunny but not overbearingly hot or you know, it was a cool day. And we had an appointment to go to. That was no big deal. We got there easily. We had some other things to do while we were out and about. Notably, probably the most notable thing that happened was dinner. So as I've told you guys, we don't have any good Italian-style pizza places around here. I live in Washington State. To give you guys some perspective here, I used to live in Connecticut. That's a state on the East Coast of the United States. Heavy concentration of Italian population in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut like area, okay? And so when you lived over there, you could go to a restaurant and you would get authentic Italian cuisine, whether it's pasta or like a you know, classic chicken parm or another kind like chicken marsala or pizza. Oh my God, the pizza's outstanding on the East Coast, okay? So, out here, do they have pizza? Yes. Do they have Italian food? Yes. But it's not even close to being authentic. It's just not. Everything out here has been massively Americanized. It's very rare to even find an independent pizza chain. Most of them are like Papa John's, Pizza Hut, Domino's. Every once in a while, you find another place, and it's terrible. We got 2 places out here that are gross. And they're supposed to be local gourmet pizza. You eat like, oh, this is like not even close. It like doesn't have any of the seasoning. It doesn't even use the right sauce. You eat like, what the fuck is this? Anyone who puts American cheese on a pizza deserve an atomic wedgie. Anyway, there are a couple places out here that do decent pizza, but they're not what you would think. Essentially what they are, they're these restaurant chains where they do things differently than the other places, but it's like, you know, it's not like you're ordering a pizza for delivery. It's like you're going to a restaurant to get a pizza. So, Kat and I were craving pizza yesterday. We were like, do we really want pizza? What can we get? Now, there's 2 restaurants around here that do it. So we decided to see what if we were to order and get delivered through like one of the delivery services. Not, you know, formal delivery through the restaurant, but to actually have one of these places like Uber Eats or DoorDash actually deliver the food. We had never done this before. We didn't try it. Okay, so we ended up ordering a pizza from The Rock. Does anyone know what The Rock is? Well, I've never heard of it until I moved out here. It's a chain that's actually rock themed, like rock music. Like think 1980s hair metal, 1990s like alt rock, all that kind of music. When you go inside the restaurant, it actually looks like you're inside of like a stage of like a concert, a rock concert. And they purposely themed their entire restaurant to look like this, and it plays rock music constantly inside. Now, is it authentic Italian pizza? No. But it's really good. It's handmade dough that they use wood fires to cook in their oven. So unlike shitty-ass fast food pizza that has the weird shape on the bottom of the dough because they just toss it in the fucking pan and toss it in their bullshit industrial oven and claim that's authentic, this place actually has, like, real wood fire pizza ovens. They put the pizza, you get that nice char on the bottom of the pizza dough, and the crust is still crispy but chewy too. And it has a very good flavor to it. The pizza, probably some of the best flavored pizza dough you can get out here, because most pizzas just taste weird. You know, you go to a fucking restaurant, I want a pizza. They bring you this flatbread fucking thing. It's like, what did you make me? There's nothing authentic about this. It's a cracker crust, and they have these weird flavor like fucking ranch chicken. Are you a fucking idiot? That's not pizza. No, bring me pizza. This place actually has a lot of interesting ways that they do the pizza. They use a lot of authentic Italian ingredients like fresh basil, ricotta cheese, etc. So we ended up getting a pizza from there. And we had no clue if it was going to be any good or how it was going to turn out being delivered. Was it expensive? Yes. Was it large? It was huge. It was a giant pizza. It was 8 huge pieces. Both Kat and I ate, and we still had lots left over to actually eat at a later date. Like, wow, that's really good value, because normally you order out and you pay and you're done. Here you order out, you enjoy dinner, and you have leftovers too, which is really cool. It was actually significantly good. We were shocked that it was that good. Now, again, is it reminiscent of the pizza I had back home, my Vinny's pizza that I used to eat as a kid? No, it was nowhere near close to that. But for pizza, it was fucking good. I was like, wow, this is different pizza, but man, this is good compared to anything else you can get out here. And you eat the pizza, and then the real key to telling if that pizza was good or not, you look at the box. There was no grease at the bottom of the box. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you've eaten pizza in your life, and you can't tell me that you ever had a pizza that when you were done with it, there wasn't grease soaking the bottom of the box, you have actually never eaten real pizza. It's truthful. Real pizza is not greasy at the bottom. That's disgusting, fast food style, quickly made, no attention to detail, no care put into the product. Pizza is greasy as fuck. But if you eat pizza and there's no grease at the bottom, that's real pizza. It means that they cooked it in a way that it charred the bottom of the pie, and therefore the ingredients stay on top. You don't get a liquid mess. That's real pizza. So there you go. That's right. Hashtag gatekeeping pizza. You want to hear me gatekeep something? I'll gatekeep pizza because I fucking know real pizza. I grew up 2 blocks away. Okay, it wasn't really 2 blocks. It was a few blocks away from an authentic Italian pizzeria. I ate authentic pizza all the fucking time. I know my goddamn pizza, and I'm not going to put up with this shit. 99% of the pizza out here in Washington is fake. That pizza was pretty fucking good. I give a thumbs up to the Rock wood-fired pizza out here. It was quite good, and I was pleased. And not that we would eat this all the time, obviously, because it's still not healthy for you. But basically, we ate it and we're like, this is something we would like to do every once in a while. If we want pizza, we know where to order now. Is it expensive? Yes, but it's filling and you get leftovers. And it's not disgusting, gross, dripping with grease either. Okay? So there you go. I was very pleasantly surprised with how well it came out. Even delivered, it showed up. And by the way, it's 50-50. The restaurant was absolutely good, but then the delivery person was also good. Because here's the thing. You can get a person who sucks. They take an hour to deliver your pizza. Now it's cold and shitty. But this guy was fast. Zippity-doo-dah. Got here within like 30 minutes. The pizza was still warm. Absolutely delicious. I loved it. What else did we do? We relaxed a bit. It was a fun day because we weren't out super late. So when we got home after we had our delicious pizza, we watched some YouTube stuff. We actually watched two different people take on the early parts of Elden Ring, which was fun because I'm 24 hours in. There's no way I can be spoiled on early Elden Ring. And we watched two other people. We watched one guy who I guess is like meant to be like a pro level player who everyone loves, and it was very interesting as he's playing the game. He's counting, and I was like, that's neat. This guy is so into the game. He can recognize a pattern of an enemy, and he's like, okay, here comes 1, 2, 3, strike, 1, 2, strike. I really respected that. I was like, this guy has that analytical mind where he watches a game, he's playing it, and live as he's playing it, he can actually analyze a pattern and map it out in his head, right? That's kind of what I was doing too. If you guys remember when I was doing the Godric fight, I was like, here he goes, 1, 2, 3, big slam, extra long slam. So I would just stay out of range of the first 3 and then dodge, and then hit. And that's what this guy was doing, but he was actually verbally calling it out as he played. I was like, that's very impressive. It is. Then I watched a guy who is nothing like that at all. This guy just kind of runs around and flubs it, and it was hilarious because he fought that very first boss that I fought, with not the tree sentinel. He couldn't fight that guy. He got his ass handed to him. He skipped him. He went to one of the optional dungeons. I think it was the cat. Remember the cat boss, the cat statue boss? Isn't it called like the watchdog, which makes no sense because it's a cat, but this is like the watchdog of the undercrypt or something. And he literally died 1,000,000 times to the first boss. And I'm like, wow. Now that's perspective. Because even I didn't die 1,000,000 times to that boss. I think I died once, right? And then I kicked its ass. But this guy's like, die. Like, wow. That is a completely different experience. At the same time, he discovered a hidden dungeon I didn't know about, but it's crappy. It's a really low-level dungeon. It's a throwaway dungeon. You don't need to do it. But I was watching him do that too. I was like, oh, I completely missed this one. So, you know, everyone who plays it gets a different experience for sure. This guy, this is funny. I think a lot of people did this. So he opens a chest, okay? And when he opens the chest, it's that chest where the smoke comes out, and you think, oh shit, I'm going to get poisoned or toxic or cursed, just like in previous Dark Souls games. And he runs away. I'm out of here. He never went back. He didn't realize that it was a new mechanic, that it was a teleportation chest. So he never got to see the further parts of the game because he ran like a bat out of hell. When it started spewing the gas, he ran the fuck out of there. I was like, wow, that's funny. Because, again, what a different perspective to watch these different people play and not know what's going on, and then to see how they react to this stuff is actually quite entertaining. So we watched a bit of that. We actually have been watching also someone else play Horizon Forbidden West and see their take on it, because it's interesting. You know, one of my strong criticisms about Horizon has been that I feel like the side content just isn't meaningful. Does the side content have stories? Yes. If you're looking for big narrative, you'll get it, but the narrative never pays off. And what I mean by that is you'll do a giant quest line and at the end get a shitty reward. Wow, I did all this extra story stuff that wasn't even the main story, and at the end I got nothing for it. It's kind of like, imagine if you were playing Mass Effect, okay? And you did a giant quest line for one of the side characters, and at the end, literally you didn't get anything for it. The side character doesn't get an ability unlocked, nor do they join your party. You don't get a weapon that makes you better. You just got some experience points along the way or whatever, and a weapon that's under-leveled, a piece of shit you don't use. But you spent like 2 hours doing this quest line. How would you feel at the end of the quest line? Pretty underwhelmed and disappointed. And that's like how all the side content is. Right? In this game. It's just like, if you just keep investing time in the side content, you will waste a ton of time and get nothing out of it. I kind of feel like what the thing is that this game had different teams working on the different content. One team worked on side content, one team worked on the main story. The director's job is to keep that content in line and keep it scaled, to keep it meaningful. The director did a piss poor job, because when you're doing side content and you're level 25 and the side mission is level 25 and you do it and you get a bow that's low level, you wasted your time. The director didn't know what they were doing. Why would you have quests in the game to give you rewards that suck ass? There should be a reward at the end of that investment of time. And there just doesn't seem to be. It seems like the people who made Horizon feel like this is the only game you're going to play for 2 months. Drop everything you're doing, because our game is so lengthy and has so much content, it's going to take you 2 months to complete it. In reality, you could just turbo through the story and beat it in a week, but they put all this superfluous side content to try to make the world feel more immersive or whatever, all these side characters and side stories, but none of them mean anything. You could literally skip it all and you didn't feel like you got anywhere in the game. Like, why did you waste your time? I feel like if you play 80 hours in a Horizon, at the end of the day, you're going to feel like you wasted 60 hours. Like, what did I play all that for? Really, I feel that way. Anyway, I digress. We were watching this guy play Horizon, and it's funny because you can tell he's a big fan of the franchise. He remembers the lore. He's reading all the logs and everything in detail. And even he's about halfway through the game, and he's done with the side content. He tried to do one of the combat arenas. He was like, fuck this. He's like, this is so tedious and boring. I'm not doing this shit. And then he's doing these missions. He's like, oh, my reward is a green bow. I have a blue bow and a purple bow, and he gave me a green bow. So, again, if you're looking for maximum story, then yeah, the side content, I guess, is meaningful. But for me, I like the combination of both. Yes, give me extra story, but also give me a reason. Like, for example, Mass Effect, you do Garrus's loyalty mission. Well, it's a good story, but also Garrus unlocks a really cool ability by the end of the loyalty mission, so it was worth your time to do it. Not, oh, you did the Garrus mission, and now Garrus says he's gone from the story for the rest of the game. Fuck you. And that's what happens in Horizon. Like, what the fuck just happened? Okay. So anyway, we did that for the rest of the day. We just kind of hung out and watched some videos and stuff and relaxed, and we listened to some relaxing music. So it was a pretty good evening. That's Phil's day off. What an exciting segment. We got a little bit of game news to talk about today. Two things. Number one, Sony is doing a State of Play presentation tomorrow. That's supposed to be about 20 minutes long, features games on both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. There will be a highlight on Japanese game development. But, of course, there's going to be some other studios highlighted as well from all around the world. So what does this mean? No one really knows. All we know is there's no PSVR stuff, but outside of that, everyone's like, man, we'll see what it is. Could be exciting. It could be not so exciting. Personally, I would like an update on Stray. That game looks really good to me, and we haven't had any updates on it in quite some time. So I would like an update on that, but outside of that, I don't know. The other major real gaming news right now is that there is a lot of fighting on social media about Elden Ring. So allow me to explain what's going on. Well, as you guys know, Elden Ring apparently has become the biggest seller in a long time, okay? Just in the UK, the only games that beat it out sales-wise in the last year was FIFA and Call of Duty Vanguard. It actually beat sales of Horizon Forbidden West by 2.5 times. It sold 2.5 times more than Horizon, okay? So what's going on here is everyone's playing the game, everyone's talking about it, but there's actually feelings of resentment, okay? Among the game development community, people who have made other games are actually quite upset with how popular Elden Ring is. There's threads you'll see on social media. Game devs from Battlefield 2042, Horizon Forbidden West, among other games, are chiming in and talking with each other about Elden Ring. And basically saying, wow, so I guess everything I know about game development is wrong. Everything that I know about the user experience, everything I know about the user interface, everything I know about quest design, all wrong. Because if you look at these things, oh, by the way, and also optimization, you know, game running at a consistent frame rate and not crashing constantly, apparently none of that matters because Elden Ring does all of these things poorly and is the biggest seller like ever. So all you got to do is essentially make a game that's full of hype and you'll sell. It doesn't matter how good your game actually is, you'll sell. That's essentially what these game developers are saying. And they're all actually responding like to each other on social media and all kind of chiming in and agreeing. Okay? And it's really weird because it really feels like sour grapes. Like, here's game developers who worked on other games. Their games are just not selling anywhere near the capacity of Elden Ring, and they're just pissy about it. You're like, wow, this actually looks, it comes off as kind of immature that they're saying it publicly. But then again, it also kind of resonates as being kind of true. If you look at Elden Ring, right, and you look at, first of all, the game's graphical performance, it's not optimized. Depending on what format you're playing it on, it's a completely different experience. The frame rate goes up, down, right? There's tons of graphical issues on PC that still need to be addressed. Yeah, it's an unoptimized mess in that regard. Now, for me, I'm used to playing From Software games at 30 frames or lower, so playing it at a variable 40 to 60 on PS5, it's actually not bothering me. But I can understand people who are used to smooth graphics, especially in other games right now, right? I'm playing Horizon, and it gives you a silky smooth 60 frames on the PS5, and you just don't get that with Elden Ring. So why does Elden Ring get a pass, right? User experience. Well, can you honestly tell me, in any FromSoft game for this matter, but particularly in Elden Ring, are any of the quest lines present for the NPCs clear on how to do? Right? Like last time around, someone says to me, oh, you're in a ruin and you hear that whistling? Well, look up. So I look up and there's a guy standing on top of the ruins. Oh, well, you're supposed to fast travel back to that earlier site of grace where there's a vendor, and for some reason, if you talk to that particular vendor, he'll tell you about the whistling guy in the woods and give you the whistle emote, so you can go back and you could do the whistle. Then the guy will come down and talk to you. You'll begin his quest line. He'll tell you about a guy. You won't know who he is, but he's an optional boss you need to go fight. And when you fight him, if you haven't fought him yet, you can summon this guy as a special summon during that boss fight. Then after that, you'll have a conversation with him. He'll disappear. He may or may not return in the later game. No one really knows because no one's found him, or it's, you know what I mean? Like, huh? That's only one quest. That's one of the easier quests. Most of the quests in this game are impossible to figure out without a guide. Really. And to me, you know, I've never really cared about the NPC quest lines in the games. Seriously, I've almost never given a shit about them because that's how cryptic they are. A lot of the times you'll start one and never figure out how to continue it and not care, you know. In previous FromSoft games, sometimes you get alternate endings, like in Dark Souls 3, if you actually do complete one of the quest lines, you get the Lord ending, where I guess you become like the Lord of Darkness or something. I don't really understand it. You know, it's like, oh, you're going to get married and then you impale the woman on a spike or something. I don't understand what the fuck this is going on in these games. But basically, yeah, the quest design's a mess. In Elden Ring and every other FromSoft game, there's literally no way to tell what you're supposed to be doing unless you guess, get lucky, or have a guide already from other people who stumbled upon the solutions and got lucky. There is no way the game will tell you what to do. It never does. Okay? The UI, or user interface, one of the major criticisms of Elden Ring has been when you look at the open world map, it's kind of bare bones. All that's on there are little icons on the map that you create, or the site of grace locations, right? Or there are some drawings on the map once you find them, but you don't know what they are. Sometimes, oh, it kind of looks like the same to all the other churches. Maybe it's a church. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But really, it's super confusing to tell what this map is unless you mark things off yourself. So what I guess what these game devs are criticizing is, well, in all the other open world games, they now have ways to filter the map. There's icons all over the map to tell you what's what. Why couldn't they do that with Elden Ring? But what's hilarious about this is it kind of backfired on the game devs, because people are saying, oh yeah, that's just what we want. We want Elden Ring, the Ubisoft game, where the map would look like this, and then they would show an example of the map. It's like 7 million icons everywhere. Like, because remember, Elden Ring has so much content. The whole map, you're just, like, there's literally not an empty spot on the map. Everything's an icon. The whole map. Like, you can't even fucking tell what anything is. Like, you're right, actually. If Elden Ring used the map style of Horizon Forbidden West, you wouldn't be able to see where you're going. It would just be icons on top of icons on top of icons. So, a lot of people are like, maybe that's the problem. Maybe the reason that Elden Ring actually is a game that's appealing to a lot of people is because everyone who plays it can get a different experience, and you don't get your hand held. So someone might encounter the super optional boss fight over here, while 10 other people may not even know it exists, and that's okay. That's part of the natural exploration and experience of playing Elden Ring, as opposed to, say, the Ubisoft game where they tell you where everything is and you go everywhere, sees every piece, and then there's no really uniqueness to it, okay? But then there's people who are countering that and saying, well, that's bullshit. If you're paying for the game, you should be able to experience all the content in the game without looking up 20 guides on where it all is and how to activate it all. I kind of agree with both sides. I want to see all the content in Elden Ring. I know I'm not going to see all the content in Elden Ring. I know I'm going to miss a ton of shit. And maybe if I do a second run at some point, someone can help me and point out the major things that I missed my first run. But that's just kind of the nature of the beast here, is when you have a game with this much content, you either get your hand held or you don't. This game does not hold your fucking hand in any way, shape, or form. And some people like that and some don't. Apparently, other game devs are of the impression that they work their asses off to make their games self-explanatory, while Elden Ring doesn't. And that makes Elden Ring a worse game. Okay? So essentially what's happened is, now, there is this whole kind of, like, people are taking sides. Seriously. Like, there's people who are totally siding with Elden Ring and saying, no, this game is great. While there's others who are like, nah, you guys are just, you're just so up your ass with hype. You don't understand that an Elden Ring actually is missing critical pieces of gameplay and game development that have been common that make a game better. And it's insulting to a game developer to say that it's, you know what I mean? Like, this is better, when it purposely ignores the advancements that games have made. That's an interesting take, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I'm kind of curious what's going to happen with this game, and will this influence future games? Will we now see open world games stop holding your hand with everything, and instead it's all about you figuring shit out for yourself because this game did so good? Do they actually feel like maybe they could cut down on their dev time if they don't put as much in? I don't know. Man. It's definitely an interesting discussion that I've never seen before. Seriously, I've never seen something like this before. People taking sides on the internet and everything and kind of being up in arms against each other about it all. It's kind of a unique situation. And I've never seen game devs this upset. Because, you know, what I really think happened here is, in particular with Horizon Forbidden West. This is a game, as you play it, you realize, wow, look at the attention to detail. Every tribe looks completely unique. Look at the character models and the crazy amount of detail in their outfits and the things that they're wearing. The dialogue, that there's tons of dialogue in this game. And it's well-written dialogue, too. It's not just a bunch of bullshit. It actually tells backstories, interesting side information, lore, and the world design is so unique and different, and the graphics are amazing and blow you away. You know, I definitely think that Horizon Forbidden West is an insanely good game. Is it anything like Elden Ring? No. Even though they're both open world games, man, they are completely different takes on how an open world can work. But I think they both work. The problem is, as soon as Elden Ring came out, literally all the hype died for Horizon. The sales numbers for Horizon plummeted. They had good sales week 1 and pretty much a non-existent sales week 2 as Elden Ring came out. So I think what's happened here is the makers are pissed. They're like, now wait a minute. We made this crazy good game. We really worked our asses off all these years, and you're telling us we only get 1 week of sales and now our game doesn't exist, right? Now, is that a reason for people to come out and now shit on Elden Ring? No, but I can kind of see why they're upset, you know? Especially if you feel like you put more effort and time into the development of your game, to put more content in it, to put more UI in it, to put more direction in it, you know? And by the way, your game is well refined, the graphics are better, it's a steady 60 frames, all these things that are better than Elden Ring, and people bought it for 1 week and now no one talks about your game anymore. It didn't exist. It's pretty sad. I actually, of all the kind of major social media posters that I see posting about games, there's only one that's still posting about Elden Ring, because he really likes it so much he's still playing it actively. Everyone else has moved on. Excuse me, I completely misspoke. There's only one who's still posting about Horizon Forbidden West, because he really likes it, and he's keep playing the game. Even though everyone else is playing Elden Ring, he's blown away by Horizon. He keeps posting stuff about it. Everyone else dropped Horizon within 1 week, and it's now Elden Ring, Elden Ring, Elden Ring, Elden Ring. So, again, I knew this would happen, and here we are. You know, it has come to fruition. Elden Ring has completely destroyed everything else. It's a hyped game. It's a game we were all waiting for. It's a game that actually, in a lot of ways, is shockingly different from previous FromSoft games, even though there's a lot of similarities and things reused. Some of the new gameplay elements and things are making it just feel like the game to play right now. And it's actually to the point where people are pissy that their games aren't doing as well. Like, wow. Oh, man. And there you go. And I completely agree with this. So Broseph says, you know, Elden Ring's not my style, Horizon all the way. And that's okay. It's okay for you to like one game style over the other. Personally, I'm sitting back and appreciating both games for what they are. If you want the more curated, handheld, guided, polished gameplay experience, you go for Horizon. If you want the, okay, you know it's a little rough around the edges, but my God, this game has tons of shocking, interesting variety content that kicks your ass constantly, you want Elden Ring, you know? I like both. I purposely like both. But I do feel like it's sad that Horizon came out the week before and now it's like dead in the water. Its sales have completely stifled. And they were like, wow, this is a game that we put so much time and effort into. We thought it would have legs. You know, week 1, everyone buys it as a new release. Then word of mouth spreads. So week 2, you get the next wave of sales and now more hype. No, it was week 1. Everyone bought it, played it. Week 2, Elden Ring came out. What's Horizon? Never heard of it. Delete from my hard drive. Like, wow. All right. It's time for shout-outs. Mr. Inherit did a super chat, says, Bonjour, how estás? Which means, how are you? You wouldn't say how. I'm good, Mr. Inherit. Thank you for asking. Jade has re-upped his membership. Thank you, Jade, for re-upping your membership to the channel. 10 months in a row, and he says, the champions in WWE are currently Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. That's right. And aren't they going to have a unification match at WrestleMania? I literally could not care less. I do not care about that fucking match, nor would I watch it. Even if I was still a wrestling fan, I would probably not watch the match. That's how little I care about it. It's complete stupidity. Fluff. Dan the Man re-upped his membership for 3 months, says, hey, Phil. Thank you, Dan. How you doing? Kevin B did a super chat, says, poll for Elden Ring if majority want to play it. I don't know what you're talking about. Kevin did another super chat, says, drop Horizon and play WWE with viewers and a poll. No. I'm not dropping Horizon. We're 20 hours in, and we're actually heading into the last third of the story of the game. I'm not dropping the fucking game. Mac Lang did a super chat, says, we're sick of current lineup. New games, please. No. The games I'm playing, I've only been playing for a week, and WWE I don't feel is a game that makes sense to jump in right now. No. Zoya did a super chat, says, when they say inflation is 6%, that's per month. Is that per month? I guess that would make more sense. If inflation is going up 6% per month, then it would make a lot of sense that within like a year I've seen as much inflation as I have. Fair enough. Kevin did another super chat. He says, please shout out YouTubers you watched. No. And here's why. Because sadly, whenever I do something like that, people go and harass them. Because they're mentally idiots. They're fucking, you know, really obsessed morons who just try to make a living hell out of anything I mention. They harass people online who I've watched. So I'm not bothering with that because they can go fuck themselves and they can't be trusted to behave like normal human beings. Smelly Vision became a member. And says, Phil, hope you're good. I am Smelly Vision. Let me actually check out how we are doing with memberships now. Because there were a few memberships there, and I'm just curious if they went up or down. They very well might have gone down. Let's take a look here. We're still at 367. Even with all those memberships, we're still at 367. So, okay. Our first tip of the day is from Gothi Senpai, who tipped me $10. Thank you so much, Gothi Senpai. Let's get that up on the leaderboard here. And they said the following. Glad to see you had a day off to relax. Your streams always make my day. I can't wait for you to stream Elden Ring. I'm also looking forward to you playing Ghostwire Tokyo after watching your Visage stream. You make horror games fun to watch. Boy, does Ghostwire look unique, huh? It looks like one of the most unique games I've ever seen. It's a first-person horror game, but there's combat hand-to-hand elements, but there's also, like, gunplay elements, and it's got this really unique visual style. Like, it's so weird, but in a good way. Like, I feel like it's going to be a unique playthrough of something I've never experienced before, which is a rarity in this day and age. So, I'm excited for Ghostwire Tokyo at the end of this month, for sure. Okay. Bosnian Majester just tipped me $2, says, are you going to play GTA 5 when it comes out on PS5? I already answered that on this pre-stream. I said, no, not as a new release, but in the future, as we get a build-up for the imminent release of GTA 6, then I will do it as a way to lead in and get us reacquainted with all of that, okay? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, good pre-stream. we definitely covered everything. Thank you for watching, whether you watched on demand here on YouTube. And if you liked the pre-stream, I hope you gave it a like and left a comment. If you watched it streaming, I hope you enjoyed it too. Actually, we just now more super chats just came in. Zoya did a super chat saying, why do you think your viewers hate Horizon so much? They don't. My viewers don't hate Horizon. What it is that my viewers are split. Some of them really like Elden Ring. Some of them like Horizon. More of them like Elden Ring. But there's still an audience for Horizon. Okay? That's the good thing about me as a variety streamer is it's not just one group. It's not just one game. I have opportunity to appeal to different audiences and or play a wide variety of games because of the kind of content that I put out. But quite frankly, Horizon, is it challenging? Yes. Is it as challenging as Elden Ring? No. Elden Ring, you're watching me take on these daunting challenges. You know I'm going to get my ass beat a bunch of times. It's exciting to see me overcome the challenges and get surprised and shocked by some of the stuff happening. Not necessarily that much by Horizon, you know. Horizon maybe plays a little bit more safe, a little bit more traditional, while Elden Ring really goes crazy, right? But a lot of people like Horizon, so no, that's not true, what you're saying. Kevin did a super chat, so who's your favorite wrestler of all time? I don't have one. I basically have different wrestlers by generation. So, for example, if you're talking 1980s, it's probably Hulk Hogan and Macho Man and Roddy Piper are my three favorites. If you're talking 1990s, probably Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. And then tail end of that would have been Austin. And then 2000s, probably like Chris Jericho. And then late 2000s would have been like CM Punk. But that's how I am. I don't have an overall favorite. Okay, let us end the pre-stream. And let's get started with Elden motherfucking Ring. All right, thank you guys so much. And let's get the show on the road. Yeah.